Hello everybody, welcome. This is a verbaling class and I'm teacher Amy, so it's great to have you coming along to class today. This is a class on reading and pronunciation primarily with a bit of speaking, and it's part of my Around the World in 80 Days series in which we travel around the world and look at different interesting things about certain areas that we might not know about, read something about them and practice our reading and pronunciation together. So it should be a good class. Today we're going to be looking at the Sichuan-Tibet highway in China, and it's a fascinating area. I think it's going to be a great article. I believe this class is fully booked, but if you would like to join us, you are welcome to watch the class along with us. So just before we get started, I do have a little few things I would like to tell you about, and we'll wait for our students to come into class. So the first one is my Facebook page. It's my teacher Facebook page for Verbling. The link is there in the chat box, and if you were interested in going along and clicking on that link, you'll be able to follow me and see what's going on Facebook. Share some of your opinions and ideas, give me class ideas if you like, that sometimes happens. I'll do my best to include classes of your request, and just get in touch with students and me. The other important link that you might need to know about is my Verbling teacher page, and that's the second link that's now going into the chat box. There we go. Okay, so this one gives you a little bit more information about who I am as a teacher. You can find out what classes are coming up with me. You can write me a message, and if you click on the follow button, that blue button under my name, then you will be automatically notified of the classes that I'm going to be teaching in the next week or two. So you can just have those come to your inbox instead of having to log on all the time to Verbling, which is great. I think that's about it for admin. So as I said before, this is a reading and pronunciation class. We're going to be reading a travel article about the Sichuan-Tibet highway in China. It's going to be great, so come on in if you've booked a slot. Otherwise, we hope you follow along with us. So, who do we have first? We have Amin. Is that how you say your name? Are you there, Amin?
Good evening.
Hello. Amin, how do I say your name? All right. I'm well, thank you. I haven't met you before, I don't think.
Amin.
Amin. Okay.
Yes,
I think there's a bit of a delay, Amin. There seems to be a delay
exactly.
between what. All right. So, I'm just wondering if there's some kind of a connection problem, but we'll carry on and hope some other students come into class.
Sorry if because. Sorry if I did. Maybe problem with connection.
Yeah, it seems like you're coming in and out a little bit. I mean, maybe just check your settings, or try leaving the class and coming back in again. That sometimes does help. Because at the moment it's hard to hear you, which is a shame. Okay. Oh, and David's left us. What is going on this morning? There we go. Here's Ivan. Let's see if he manages to stay. I wonder what's happening this morning with Verbling. Can you hear me, Ivan?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. All right, because we've been having a few difficulties, and I haven't been able to hear Amin very well, but I can hear you, which is great. So we'll just wait for the other students to get here. How are you, Ivan, and how's your day been today?
Thank you, I'm doing very good.
Good. What did you do? It's hard to hear you.
Attending classes and Verbling.
All day?
Not day, but on the afternoon.
All right, cool. And what classes have you been to? Anything really interesting?
Yes, grammar.
Grammar! I'm glad you
pronunciation.
find grammar really interesting. That's great. All right, well, welcome, Ivan. It's time for a bit of speaking practice and pronunciation this lesson, so good to have you.
Thank you.
Now, who else do we have? David, let's say hi to you. I can see you're coming in and out. Are you having problems with your computer?
Yeah, a little bit. Can you hear me okay, please, or not?
Yes, I can just about hear you. Seems to be a funny connection today.
Now it's better or worse?
Sorry, David, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
My connection is better or not?
Ah, okay, that's better. I can hear you. So just speak nice and clearly and close to your microphone so I can hear you properly.
Okay.
All right. So don't forget, guys, if you're not speaking, please mute your microphone. Just makes it easier for everybody else. Who else do we have here? Raphael, how are you?
Hello, Amy. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Excellent. I'm great, thanks, Raphael. It's good to have you in the class today. I believe that we have got some more students coming. Let's see who's coming along. Let's say hi to Eduardo. Are you there, Eduardo?
I'm here, yes, still loading.
Still loading. All right. I love your picture. It's very spooky. It reminds me of my writing class we did the other day, Dreams and Nightmares. How are you, Eduardo? What's been happening in your life?
I'm great. Just, yeah.
Just normal stuff?
Normal. Nothing special.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing special. Okay, that's fine. Well, it's great to have you all. What we're going to do is get started with a bit of an introduction, and then we'll say hi to some more students if they come along in a few minutes. So, we're going to be speaking today, or reading, should I say, about China, and a little bit about Tibet as well. But the highway which we're going to be reading about is between China and Tibet. So I'm going to give you a bit of info about China, which is obviously a very interesting country, very large. We're going to start off, as we usually do, just by reading something from Wikipedia so that we all know what we're talking about, basically, and finding out some information about some countries we may not know. So I'm going to post that into the chat box. And it looks pretty long, I know. But this is our little introduction. It gives us some info about China, and I'm going to ask Ivan if you would please read it. Are you able to see what's there in the chat box, Ivan?
Let me see. No, not at all.
Right. Let me put it in the other chat box as well. How about that? Can you see it in the Google chat?
Okay, China, officially the People's Republic of China?
Correct. Off you go.
Okay. So, China, officially the People's Republic of China, PRC, is a sovereign state located in East Asia. It's the world's most populous country with a population of over 1.35 billion. The PRC is single-party state governed by the Communist Party with its seat of government in the capital city of Beijing. It exercises jurisdiction over 22 provinces, 5 autonomous regions, 4 direct controlled municipalities, and mostly self-governing special administrative regions, Hong Kong and Macau. The PRC also claims Taiwan, which is also controlled by Republic of China (ROC), a separate political entity. As its 23rd province, a claim which is controversial due to the complex political status of Taiwan, governing approximately 9.6 million square kilometers. China is the world's second largest country by land area, and either the third or fourth largest by total area, depending on the method of measurement. China's landscape is vast and diverse, ranging from forest and
Steps.
steppes and the Gobi and Klamakan deserts, in the arid north of subtropical forest to subtropical forests in the water south, the Himalaya, Karakoram, Pamir, and Tian Shan mountain ranges separate China from South and Central Asia. The Yangtze and Yellow Rivers, the third and sixth longest in the world, run from the Tibetan Plateau to the densely populated eastern seaboard. China's coastline along the Pacific Ocean is 4,500 kilometers long and is bounded by the White, Yellow, East and South China Seas.
Ivan, congratulations, well done. Just the number there is 14,500 or 14,500, okay?
14,500 kilometers.
All right, but well done. Excellent. Okay, so that's a bit of an introduction to China. Did anyone have any questions about vocabulary or anything in there that we just covered? Nope. All right. So that's what we're going to be reading about, this amazingly diverse and large country with a very large population. What we're going to do is read about a highway that connects the Sichuan province with Tibet. So I'll give you the link, guys, in both chat boxes there, and you can screen share with me if you prefer. So this is how the class works for those of you who haven't been before. I will ask you to read a part just like Ivan that did there, so take your time and really focus on your pronunciation. I'll get the others to try and listen to the meaning while you're reading, and might ask you a few questions about it just to check that everybody's following. If you get stuck on any words, then I will help you, but I try to let you do it. And then afterwards, I'll give you a little bit of feedback if there's anything that I can help you improve with. We'll discuss the vocabulary if people have questions about it. And then we'll move on to the next student. So, with that being said, take a look at the magnificent pictures if you have time. There's a little slideshow. You can click on these arrows here. This is a monastery, which is on the highway. But we're going to scroll down and start reading with Double Rainbow. So, what I'm going to do is start with Raphael.
Double rainbow! A passenger on the bus yelled. Look to the left! We were somewhere in the Henduan Mountains that stretch across the western portions of China's Sichuan. Below us, twin kaleidoscopes of color hung above a rushing gorge, hundreds of meters below. May I continue?
Yep.
The sight was a bright spot on what had thus far been a punishing journey through one of the world's most remote regions. Moments earlier, my fellow passengers and I had spent the better part of a half hour pulling our bus out of the mud with a rope attached to the bottom of the vehicle, more concerned about the driver toppling over the edge of the cliff than the rope's perpetual tendency to break and leave us covered in mud. Oh my! The mishap would be the first of many similar incidences. A 2-week journey of breakdowns, polished barricades, constant delays, headaches, and altitude-induced vomit-stained windows. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Raphael. So this is a a nice introduction. Hey guys, does anyone feel like going on this highway yet? Okay, so let's ask about just guys, take a look and see if there's any words that you don't understand in there. Raphael, that was really great reading. Just a couple of little things. So the sight was a bright spot on what had thus far been a punishing journey. So just this part here, it's quite a nice place to pause just here after thus far, because that gives the listener the chance to sort of take it in what you're saying. This word here, Raphael, is headaches. Headaches comes the emphasis on the first syllable, okay?
Headaches.
Yeah, that's better. Well done. This word, depending on where you're from, if you're from the UK and the north of the USA, you pronounce this police, which is probably the most common way. You can pronounce it police, but that's a really sort of southern USA type of accent, and it's quite unusual to hear that from foreigners. So I would recommend that you pronounce it police. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about vocab?
What is a vomit-stained windows?
Vomit-stained windows. Do we know what vomit is?
Yes.
Right, so I think we know what vomit is. If something is stained, what does that mean? Does anyone know?
Yes, like in clothes.
Exactly, that's right, Eduardo. So a stain is something that you can't really wash out. It's like if you spill wine, red wine, say, on a white t-shirt, it's unlikely that you're going to get back to a perfect white t-shirt no matter how many times you wash it. So that's called a stain. If it's vomit-stained windows, it's pretty disgusting. It just means that there's vomit all over the windows. Any other vocab words, guys? No? Alright, just before we carry on reading, we've had quite a shocking introduction to this journey. Just want to ask you guys, has anyone ever been on a really, really horrendously bad journey, like very long or windy, or where you kept breaking down? Has anyone had this experience before?
No.
No? Well, that's great. I think that different countries tend to have different types of journey. So, for example, in the UK, a long journey is actually considered pretty short by most people, I think, because British people don't tend to travel that far. And usually we get stuck in traffic jams, but there's lots of places to stop and have a cup of tea, and it's not exactly like going out into the wilderness, because there's not really any wilderness in the UK that you can drive through particularly. In New Zealand, however, there are a lot of windy roads, so lots of roads that wind up and down mountains. What's it like in... Who have we got here today? Ivan, you're from Colombia, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what's traveling like in Colombia? Is it easy to travel? Do you travel by car to the forest or the mountains, or what's it like?
Yes, it's kind of dependent of the season, you know. When it's heavy raining, it should be avoided traveling by car instead of by air, because you're gonna get stuck, and probably you're gonna get immediately assistance.
Yep.
Otherwise, the landscapes and something else are near Bogota, so it's a fun, easy way to travel.
All right. What about who else do we have? Eduardo, I've forgotten where you're from.
I'm from Spain, so it's pretty similar to England and the UK, but
Yeah.
with less mountains, so it's easier here.
Yeah, my experience of traveling in Spain, Eduardo, is that it's really pleasant. There's really nice scenery, the roads are amazingly good, and it's quite fun. And there's not much chance of getting lost or stuck, really, is there?
Yes, because we have different transport systems. So
Mm-hmm.
we have train, railroad,
Yep. Yep.
and yes, and the highways are connect all big cities. So yes, there is not too much. Maybe in the centers of the city we have problems with traffic, but not to travel between cities. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Interesting how countries differ so much in this way. I suppose it has to do with geography and culture and history. David, where are you from? Remind me.
Uh, Also from Colombia.
You're from Portugal.
No, no, from Colombia, teacher.
Oh, you're from Colombia. Okay. Do you agree with Ivan, what he said?
I don't hear him very well, but Colombia is Colombia is good for traveling. It's not of the level of USA or Europe, where exists a lot of train that connect many important many important cities, and the road is not so bigger. But I can complain. I can travel, I think, by road for the
Mm-hmm.
most important cities without any problems.
Okay. All right. So, as long as you stay on those main roads, you should be fine.
Sorry?
As long as you stay on those main roads connecting the cities, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's ask Amin. Are you still there, Amin? And can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfectly. I hear you
Wonderful.
perfectly.
Ah, that's better. Your connection seems to have improved. So tell me, which country are you from?
I'm from Morocco.
All right. Tell us about Morocco. How easy is it to travel?
I think recently, I mean, roads are improved, are better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about cars driving.
Yes.
We we are improving highway, so things are other transports, other medium, other transports, yes, as like trains. Yes, but it depends. There are some of them good, other between.
All
I
right.
mean,
So
more
it
or less.
depends. It depends. Improving, you would say.
Yes,
All right.
exactly.
And
Yes, it depends of yes.
okay.
Between
So
the big cities, the things are good. If normal or smaller cities, worse a little bit.
yeah. Okay. Well, that even really happens here in New Zealand. If you go to little small places, sometimes the roads aren't too good. Okay, so last but not least, Rafael, what's it like if you're going to travel in Brazil? Is it a good idea to go in the car or not?
It depends. If you, if you look uh, if you look for adventure, uh, there are some roads. There are some roads, and you have to buy a car with a four-wheel drive, and have fun because you're gonna love it. If you would like to participate in a rally, there are great options to travel. But in general terms, the roads condition has improved a little in the last decade, but they're not in the right conditions due
Yeah.
uh, demand because the truck transportation and things like that, the commerce. But yes, if you look for if you want some adventure, there are great options. There are great options of roads if you want to get stuck and play with nature and drown yourself in the mud.
But don't count on that. If you want to get from A to B quickly, don't travel in the car in Brazil. Is that right?
Yes, it's still a good idea to ride a car in Brazil, but it depends. In the it depends on your willing to go on an adventure, I think.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind, Raphael. If I ever get bored of my life, I'll think about going on an adventure in Brazil. All right, everybody, we'll continue reading. So we're up to vomit-stained windows, quite memorable, that sentence. And what we're going to do is ask Eduardo to continue for us from but. Oops, from here, please, Eduardo.
Okay. But that is the price of witnessing the haunting beauty of the Sichuan-Tibet highway, one of the world's most dangerous, highest, and most punishing roads. Most of the 4,000 kilometers plus loop between the Sichuan capital Chengdu and the Tibetan capital Lhasa cuts through the former region of Kham, composed mainly of the present-day Tibetan Autonomous Region, as well as of parts of former Tibet that were annexed into mainland China from the 18th century until the mid-20th century, with mishaps include a bus ride between any two cities in the remote region can take long enough for passengers to watch the sun both rise and set over the surrounding peaks, but winding along the precarious roads and altitudes that reach nearly 5,000 meters rewards the intrepid traveler with sweeping mountain views, studded with stupas, prayer flags, monasteries, otherworldly rock formations, and perhaps the occasional double rainbow.
Well done. Great, thank you, Eduardo. Great reading. Just the odd word here, which they're quite tricky, these words. So this word here, you pronounced it right, but the emphasis is on an, so it's annexed.
Annexed, okay.
Yes. Now there's another one here. This one I think Raphael actually mispronounced. I wasn't able to tell or not, but I'll just go over it just in case. So this is actually mishaps. There's no sh sound in this word. It's mishaps.
Okay, mishaps.
Correct. What is a mishap?
Like I don't when something doesn't go like you want.
Yes, exactly. Something doesn't go according to plan.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And what else did we have?
Stupas?
We had.
What is that?
To be honest, I have no idea. I think this must be like a word that they use for something special in that area. If anyone wants to look it up in the dictionary, you can tell us. And then just down here, where did we have the next one? Here. Winding along. Winding.
Okay. It's because it's like a snake winding like a river.
Exactly right, yes.
Okay.
So there's no verb to wind. Well, actually, that's not true. It means like to knock the breath out of somebody. But it's in this case, we've got wind. We often use this word. We often say roads are windy. If they're windy, that means there's curve after curve after curve, and it can make you feel a bit car sick. So windy roads is quite a good little phrase to remember. If you're going on a trip in an English-speaking country and you're not sure, ask if there are any windy roads.
Okay.
If they say yes, take a sick bucket. Okay. Right, any vocabulary in here, guys? Apart from that, I've already discussed. No? Right, doing well, everybody. Okay, all right, so let's just see if we can ask somebody. I'll ask David. David, can you... Are you there, David?
Yeah, teacher, I am here.
Excellent. Can you tell me what kind of information have we learnt about this place so far in the first few paragraphs?
Oh, okay, that is place that is think it's a region that is something like poor or remote from the cities,
Yep.
that the people that want some adventure can travel there to have nature, a lot of nature and adventure for our vacation. Yeah.
All right, and what...
That is also like mountain. The region is like mountains.
Yep.
With the rocks and yeah, with a lot of rocks.
Excellent. All right, so it's isolated. It's a difficult place to go to travel. There's lots of things to overcome, lots of challenges. As Raphael said, it's an adventure. But there's lots of reward in it too. Okay, let's continue. So I'll just scroll back down to here. From Double Rainbow, and we'll get... Armin has disappeared. I don't think his connection's doing too well today, so hopefully he comes back. So what I'll do is go back... Oh, David, I'll get you to read from While the Tibetan, please.
Okay. While the Tibetan government in exile still lays claim to Qinghai and Western Sichuan, the rest of Kham, virtually everything else of Tibetan Autonomous Region has officially been part of mainland China since the mid-20th century. Still, the area remains vastly ethnically and linguistically Tibetan, from the goat-roof monasteries to the red-robed monks to the jack herds grazing in the foothills. May I
Keep
continue?
going.
The Chinese government recently funded the construction of the world's highest airport in Daocheng, in the southwest Sichuan, with hopes to increase tourism and help quell native Tibetan dissent. The airport, which opened in September, has put the commute between Chengdu and Daocheng from a 2-day bus ride to 1-hour flight.
Great. Thank you, David. Excellent. That was really well read. Just one thing I want to point out. So, trying to find it now. Just a second. Here we go. This word here, we've got ethnically with an N. Ethnically.
Ethnically.
Yep, that's correct. I just wanted to point out that it's very similar to the other word ethically. So can someone tell me the difference between ethnically and ethically?
Ethnically, yeah, is like folk of the region. It's like yeah, it's I don't know how to translate the word. Sorry.
All right. Do you understand what it means? The word ethic. Sorry, the word ethnic, David.
The other?
So the
Besides
word,
ethnically?
yeah. What does the word ethnic have to do with? What type of thing is it talking about?
The word that is in the text is about the culture of the Tibetan.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah.
but
Sorry,
the
it's still
other, I
tricky
don't
to
know.
hear you.
But the other, I don't know the meaning.
Okay, so that's correct. So ethnic is to do with your race or your culture. But ethic, or ethically, or ethics, we usually say, which is the noun, is what is that to do with? Does anyone know?
Does it refers to moral, to your moral or your behavior,
Yeah,
something like that?
exactly. That's correct, Raphael. So whether you're doing something right or wrong, basically, and what is right or wrong, to do with behavior, morals, something like that. Great. So just to point out the difference between those two, there's only one letter different, but it's a big difference in meaning. Okay, any questions about vocab?
What about quell? Quell native. Yeah.
Good word. What does quell mean? Does
No
anyone
idea.
know? No? We usually use this, for example, one context to be to quell your fears. So can anyone guess what that might mean?
Fight?
Yeah, sort of. It's a little bit more like to calm something down, Raphael. So to reduce, to calm, or to stop something. So in this case, they're helping to calm down dissent, right? To stop dissent. Okay. Any other questions? All right, let's continue. So now back to Ivan. Ivan, could you read this paragraph, please?
Yes. The airport has made it more convenient for travelers to experience Tibetan culture without the exasperating bureaucratic barriers necessary to get into the Tibet, which are non-existent here. During a visit in summer 2011, I found a heightened government presence but no restrictions, permit hassles, or need to travel with a group. Even so, be sure to check the situation before visiting, as rules and restrictions can change without notice. Using a tour agency to plan also helps. The company China Highlights, for example, can provide customized itinerary to Sichuan-bound travelers, still with little tourist infrastructure, extremely high altitudes, and a considerable language and cultural barrier. Travel here is far from easy.
Great, Ivan. Well done. Okay, two little words. Simple words, but the pronunciation is different in English to Spanish. So let me just highlight. This word here in English is culture. So we have an sound. Culture.
Culture,
Yeah, that's better. And then this one here is agency. Agency.
agency,
Yes, great. Okay, any questions?
um, hassle,
Hassle. What a great word. This is a very important word. What does hassle mean?
like a
Anyone know?
mess, like a
Yeah,
mess. Yeah.
Not exactly a mess. A hassle is something that's really inconvenient or annoying. And it's just one of those sort of slightly more colloquial words that we use a lot in the UK. If someone says, "Oh, it was such a hassle," it means that it was just much more complicated and stressful than you expected it to be. Anyone else got any other questions?
What about heightened or heightened? Yeah,
Heightened. Heightened.
heightened. Yeah, heightened.
Heightened. What does heightened mean?
It seems like high, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so the height of something is how tall it is, right?
Yeah.
Your height is how tall you are. But if you have a heightened presence, it means basically more presence, a greater presence.
Okay.
It means that the level of something has gone up or risen. Okay, so heightened maybe anxiety, that means you're more anxious. And any others? No? Okay, so would anyone like to answer the question? Why is it says travel here is far from easy. Why? What makes travel in this place difficult?
Because there is a lot of barriers, the
Yep.
language,
Mhm.
the geography, of course, and the people, maybe. The culture is totally different.
Yep.
The language, they don't speak English, I suppose. So
Mhm. All right, so there's several different factors. As well as that, there's one other thing that causes problems. What is it? No? All right, so it's a little bit tricky because it says here, what are exasperating bureaucratic barriers? Does anyone have any idea?
yeah, related with papers, like your passport.
Exactly. So exasperating is a great word. It basically means really, really frustrating. It's like so frustrating that you actually feel like you don't know what to do. And yeah, bureaucratic barriers. So you've got to have papers, and you've got to deal with governments and filling in forms, possibly, and lots of stress like that. So that's another thing that can be a problem. However, he says that in this particular place, he didn't find that there was any restrictions. So that's good. All right, let's continue reading. And who are we up to? It must be Raphael's turn again. The main attraction.
The main attraction near Daocheng is the Yajing Nature Reserve, about 140 kilometers south. Touted as the last Shangri-La, Yajing is a glacial lake-filled alpine wonderland. But it's not only the natural beauty that draws visitors. The park is also home to monasteries, villages, and visiting Tibetan pilgrims. The three holy peaks surrounding Yajing have long attracted pilgrims doing a Kora, or holy hike. The 30 kilometers Kora, around 6,032 meters tall, Chinrizing Mountain offers incredible views of jagged snow-capped peaks, stone huts, and mountainsides festooned with prayer flags of every color. For those uncomfortable with the trying hike at more than 4,000 meters, it's possible to take short day hikes or horse trips.
Well done. Great, Raphael. Just a couple of things. So the first one, this one here, it comes from the word nature. So you pronounce that nature. But this word here, we for some reason pronounce natural.
Natural.
Natural, yeah. Rather than natural. Tibet, we put the emphasis on the second syllable for Tibet, so it's Tibet. And when we use the nationality, it's Tibetan. It's the same, okay?
Okay.
And then this one here, this is a bit of an unusual one. So we've got a little hyphen making something a certain number of meters tall. However, when we have this occurrence, we say the 6,032 meter tall. I don't know why we take off the S, but we somehow do. If we're saying that in a sentence, because we've got the noun coming after, for some reason we drop the S. But if we say it is 6,032 meters tall, then we keep the S. It's for some reason because we've got this is sort of changed into an adjective phrase for this noun. So a very small thing, but you might want to note that down for future. All right, we're going to go on to the next, guys. If you want to click next, and hopefully my... Oh, it's being slow. Trying to go on to the next page. There we go. Gosh. Eventually we'll get there. No. Okay. All right, so we haven't got much to go. What to read? Road conditions. From here, please, Eduardo.
Okay, I didn't listen to you. Yeah. Now I do. Okay, if road conditions happen to be perfect, it's a 150 kilometers, 3-hour ride from Dachauan to Litan, a small town that moves at the pace of the tumbleweeds. Fiercely Tibetan in culture, Litan is a monastery town and birthplace of multiple Dalai Lamas. It's definitely worth the visits to the monastery and the hot springs on the edge of town. But Litan's real attraction is the people watching. Leather-skinned old men walk through town spinning their prayer wheels, while red-robed monks ride their motorcycles past nomadic herders on horseback, their hair flying in the wind above gold-toothed smiles.
Keep going,
Yeah.
please, Eduardo.
Okay. Litan is also one of the more common places for sky burials. A burial site is right behind the monastery. During these ancient traditional funerals, the body is cut into pieces and left for the swarming vultures that swoop down to devour the body, completing the cycle of life. To witness a sky burial, you must ask at the monastery for permission or acquire an invitation.
All right, thank you. It's kind of gruesome, this. Thank you, Eduardo. All right, let's talk about what we just read. Any questions on vocabulary? Eduardo, you pronounced that really well. Well done. Great.
Well,
Any questions? Because it's a kind of weird what we read, right?
Yes. 3-hour ride. What is that? I don't understand.
That's a mistake, guys. That should just be 3 hour, and this hour shouldn't be there. So a 3-hour ride.
Okay.
Teacher, tumbleweeds.
Which word?
Tumbleweeds in the third line.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the best thing for me to do is just to show you a picture of this, because you'll all know what it is when you see it.
Yeah.
If my internet will work today. I don't know why it's being so slow. This is the type of thing that comes on lots of comedy sketches when something's really boring. This. So it sort of bounces in the wind, right?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, well, I want to ask you guys a question. What makes this place, Tang, what makes it so Tibetan? What kind of features or thing can you see there that are really Tibetan? Anyone want to answer?
Because it's a birthplace of multiple Dalai Lamas. Dalai Lamas.
Yep, yep. What else?
And
Characters can you see? What people like?
leather skinned.
Yeah, exactly. What does leather skinned actually mean? Can anyone have a guess or imagine that in your mind what someone with leather skin is like?
Yes, because they are bald, no? Or not?
It's not so much bald. No, bald it could be different because some of them have obviously got their hair flying in the wind, so they've obviously got long hair.
Okay.
But leather skinned basically means your skin is leathery. It's like the material leather. It's really
Okay, okay.
and probably quite dark, yeah? As if you've
Yeah.
been in the sun a lot in your life. All right, so this gives you a really atmospheric description, guys. You've got leather-skinned old men spinning prayer wheels. You've got red-robed monks riding motorcycles. And you've got nomadic herders on horseback, and then the motorcycle riders have their hair flying in the wind above gold-toothed smiles. So they've got gold teeth, long hair, red robes, they ride motorbikes, and they're overtaking nomadic herders, so they're horse riders. Just sounds like something, I don't know, from Lord of the Rings or something to me. And then we go on to hear about sky burials. Who wants to tell me what a sky burial is? What's the difference between a sky burial and, I don't know, a regular burial?
Well, I've seen this kind of monasteries on the top of the mountain, on the summit,
Yeah.
on the peak, and they lift things with a kind of lift. So something like that. It's not fall down the body, so through the body to the mountain, but maybe with some kind of device they take down the body slowly. This kind, maybe. I'm imagining. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
So it tells us exactly what you have to do to have a sky burial. So instead of digging a hole and putting your body in the ground, or instead of burning it in a cremation, what they do is this. They cut your body into pieces and leave it for vultures. Do we know what vultures are? What's a vulture?
Yeah, a big bird.
Yeah, that eats
yeah.
dead meat, right?
Right.
So the
With a long
vultures come
neck.
and eat you. Yeah, that just sounds to me like a total nightmare. It's something that I would have a bad nightmare about. But anyway, there you go. It's not a horror movie, it's Li Tang. Alright, let's continue reading. We've got one more to go. So, David, could you read this paragraph here, please?
Yeah. From Litan, a brutal 260 kilometers journey, taking 7 hours by minute bus. If you are lucky, gets you to the town of Garcem. The Garcem monastery is the region's largest, home to more than 500 monks. The sprawling gold-roofed 15th century monastery with its walls adorned with demons and deities. Climbs up the hillside overlooking rolling granite hills and snow-capped peaks, exploring the area with its cafe and wood houses, grains, chilies and vegetables drying on their flat roofs is as impressive as the monastery itself.
Well done, David. This word here that you were struggling with a bit is deities. Deities.
Deities are like different gods, yeah? Or
Yes, exactly. Yep, gods.
yeah.
And this word here is climbs. Climbs.
Deities and how?
Correct.
How is the word? Climbs?
Climbs. Yep. All right, we'll finish this off quickly. So whose turn is it? Ivan, the towns.
Yes. The towns is in the former region of Kham are changing more slowly than most of China. Still, it won't remain untouched forever. There are constant protests by the ethics Tibetans about the Tibet's political situation. Han Chinese are slowly immigrating into the area, and as in the rest of China, construction has been developing for years. For several years, the government has been working on a ring road that will make the area more accessible, and plans for direct flights from various Chinese cities to Daosheng will likely continue to increase the number of visitors.
Last sentence, Ivan.
Chinese cities to Daosheng
This one.
will,
No, this one here.
for now, however, the area remains largely untouched and reminder of the Tibet that once was.
All right. Well done, everybody. Great reading. Any questions about this last part that we've just read? No? Does anyone feel like they're attracted to go to Tibet after reading this? Or are you going to stay well clear?
No. I'm not interested.
Not interested?
No.
I must admit, the thing about the sky burials has put me off slightly, but I have always thought that Tibet would be really fascinating to go to. It's sort of so wild and I don't know, isolated with the Himalayas and everything. Kind of cool. But there you go, a bit of an interesting article today. I hope you enjoyed it. You did great, everybody reading. Well done. I've got a speaking class coming up now, so if you're interested in joining us for that, do come along in. We're going to be talking about helping. Otherwise, I'll see you guys, I hope, again soon. So take care, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.